Hello and welcome to a new episode of Hathaway with Hathaway. I'm George Hathaway, season 2, episode 2. Make sure you check out the season opener, the podcast episode I had with my good friend Justin Hill. We talked a lot about New York sports. He's from the Bronx, good college friend of mine. So it's always great to catch up with somebody from college chatting about sports. And it's always good to pick Justin Hill's brain as well. Very intelligent kid. So make sure to go check out that episode. I hope everybody had a great holiday. Happy New Year. And of course, with the new year, that means college football playoffs. Am I right? Diving right into it, I'm going to go over my picks, who I believe is going to have a good game, who's going to come out victorious, who's going to cover some spreads, who's going to put some money in your pockets. Am I right? So I to start things off with the Fiesta Bowl, I have Boise State plus 11. Ashton Jeanty is a beast, one of the best running backs in college football history. That's for sure. He's had a phenomenal season. Runner up for the Heisman Trophy. I personally believe he should have been the Heisman winner over Travis Hunter, but that is a discussion for another day. Am I right? So I think Boise State covers plus 11. Texas, I have them over Arizona State, just straight money line in the Peach Bowl. Texas is just a very solid team. Arizona State, a good team, like, they're here for a reason. However, I just don't think they have the capacity to hold Texas's offense, right? We all know that they have a stellar offense, really strong offensive line as well. Their defense is good too, so that's why I have Texas straight up with that money line. This one's going to be a great game. I think this is going to be the game of the week. It's going to be the Rose Bowl between Ohio State and Oregon. We saw these two teams meet up in the regular season, came down to the wire, right? The last few seconds. Again, I think that's what it's going to be like this time around. I have Oregon plus 2.5 on the spread. Uh, Again, I don't know why Oregon is at plus 2.5, considering they're the one seed. I think it should have been the other way around, but Ohio State's been looking good. Oregon, though, I will take them plus 2.5. Very good team. Lastly, I have Georgia over Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. I just don't think Notre Dame can really crack Georgia's defense. They've been phenomenal all year long. Even without Carson Beck playing, I think with Georgia, it's like, okay, who's the next five-star recruit that's going to be starting at QB, right? It's just those types of things that we're going to be seeing. College football playoffs, it's been phenomenal. The ratings have been through the roof, that's for sure. We've seen them on like a few weekends ago when they had the first round of the college football playoffs. They outbid the NFL in ratings. So that's always something to see. That's interesting, especially since the NFL is coming down to their last few weeks. You can just feel the playoffs and that atmosphere getting ready, or in some cases, who's getting the first pick. But we're going to jump into that a little later in this episode. But speaking of ratings, right? I'm going to jump into talking about the NBA ratings, how they've been declining as of late. Yes, I know Christmas Day basketball, peaked, over the last 5 years was the most watched. However, the NFL, their first time playing on Christmas Day, it was phenomenal. Four great teams were going at it. That's what made it so much more interesting, exclusively on Netflix. And I truly believe that Roger Goodell made a smart move doing that. If you're purposely going to put it on Netflix, you are forcing the viewer and the consumer to stay on that platform. By the time you exit Netflix, you jump into ABC or ESPN to go watch Christmas Day basketball, let's say, right? By the time you get there, maybe that game's in a commercial. Then you're going to another game on another channel. And then by the time that's all over, oh, the football game is back on. Now I gotta log back into Netflix and, click on that. And again, a process, right? So you're forcing the consumer to stay on that one streaming platform. They do the same thing with Prime on Thursday Night Football. So if you're looking at it, what Roger Goodell did, I don't say this often about him, is he did a smart thing by forcing everybody to stay watching the NFL on Netflix over Christmas Day basketball. And we all know that. We all know this. Christmas Day is for basketball. Thanksgiving is for football. But Roger Goodell tried to shake it up this year, and they saw amazing ratings. The Ravens Texans game was 24.3 million views. The Chiefs Steelers was viewed by 24.1 million people. And mind you, that Ravens Texans game was a complete blowout. And yet that got more than the Chiefs Steelers game. The most streamed NFL games in US history. I'm going to say keyword stream there because the NFL has slowly started going into streaming platforms a few years ago with Prime, and now they're like on Peacock, and now they're on Netflix. So again, right, most streamed NFL games in US history was on Christmas Day. Let's look at the NBA on Christmas. Average 5.2 million viewers per game in the US. The Lakers Warriors game averaged 7.76 million, which was, by the way, a phenomenal game to watch, and peaked with 8.32 for the Lakers Warriors game. So, right, like we see the difference in comparison. What is going on with the NBA where nobody wants to watch it until May or after the All-Star break when things actually start becoming interesting? I think it comes down to the players. The players do not care to put out a good product right now. There is no meaning to the NBA regular season until February. If you shorten the season, maybe it becomes more interesting. But that's probably a very long thing of like why you probably can't shorten the NBA season, but I still personally believe it's like they aren't doing anything for the consumer. Nothing is interesting to watch right now. There's no rivalries to watch. There's no like players that are like, all right, I need to see these two go at it against each other. I think it happens with the draft classes, right? Like these draft classes aren't good. So it's like I don't have any rookies that I really want to go see go at it besides Donovan Clingan and Stephon Castle, right? But I just don't think the NBA has a good product right now. And it's sad to see because I love watching basketball. I live and breathe basketball. But I find myself watching more college football and more NFL because there's nothing important in the NBA. The in-season tournament, it's a good concept, but again, it's just like, okay, doesn't really mean much, right? Yeah, it's cool, but it's you're forcing the players to try a little bit more, but once they lose and once it's over, then what's the point, right? Um, So I think that's the problem with the NBA. It comes down to the players. They're just, it's like clocking into a 9 to 5. You clock in, you do your job, you clock out. And that's how they see it. They just see it as, all right, I'm just going to go play, and that's it. They don't care about anything else other than that aspect. And the NBA is not making it enjoyable for the fans either, right? I know ESPN has tried like their Mickey broadcast, which was really a cool concept. They did that with The Simpsons for a Monday Night Football once. Again, really cool product that they're putting out there. But the NBA didn't have Christmas jerseys this year. And I think that's something I always look forward to watching NBA on Christmas is like the cool jerseys. There's one day a year you get to wear them. And I get maybe they don't sell because you only wear them one day a year. But again, it's cool, right? It's enjoyable for the fans to go watch. And even the players, LeBron tweeted out how he was upset that there weren't any Christmas Day basketball jerseys. And I commented to him, I was like, this needs to be brought up in the Players Association meetings, which is a big issue. And so I think the players need to vocalize how they can make it more fun because right now, Adam Silver is caring about, the money and the revenue that they're bringing in. But if viewership's going to be down, then there's no point, right? And so that's why I don't know. The NBA right now, I'm just not enjoying it until it becomes May, June. All-Star break isn't going to be fun. It hasn't been fun for the last maybe 10 years. I think since 2016 was the last good one, right? Also, I just want to say shout out, happy birthday to LeBron James. It was on Monday, so happy birthday to the King, turning 40. It's still the greatest basketball player of all time. I had to say it, right? He's phenomenal at what he does. I'm not gonna go up here and, start hyping him up way too much and just saying all these great things, but you know it. Look it up for yourselves, right? LeBron James is the best. Uh, and some if you have the GOAT talking about how it's not fun on Christmas to play without a Christmas basketball jersey, again, got to look at it and be like, maybe we need to change something up. Hopefully they do. Like I said, I love watching basketball. But it won't be until like after the All-Star break where I'll actually really start diving into the NBA. Which is sad because I mean I love college basketball though a lot more. Again, the players care. They're achieving for a goal at the end of it. It's of course it's a national championship, but it's that idea of if I perform at the highest level that I possibly can, I am moving on to the next stage. And I think that's why college sports is so much better than professional, is for that aspect of I need to continue to play better at the highest level, put it all out there so I can compete at the highest level and make a lot of money doing so. So that's what makes college sports so much more interesting for me, is that like those players, of course they have their NIL, but like they yearn for more. Um, and that's why, again, college sports is better than professional. Um, but right now, the NBA, their market is slowly declining. If it's also because of like the streaming stuff, right? League Pass, you can only watch certain games, the blackout, stuff like that. Same Major League Baseball has the same issue that I believe that it's slowly deteriorating the sports. Is the streaming and the multiple platforms and how you have to watch it. It makes it difficult for the consumer, and that's why they don't want to watch it. Um, Speaking of things that are difficult for consumers, the New England Patriots, as of right now, they have the first pick in the NFL draft. We'll see how that plays out. Will they blow it? I don't know. I mean, they play the Bills on Sunday, so it'll be interesting to see, but they'll probably lose even if Josh Allen isn't even playing. But the New England Patriots, yes, as of right now, the first pick. And here's what I have to say about this. Ready? Trade the pick away. There is no need for the Patriots to take somebody first overall. They have their QB of the future in Drake May. If they want to pick Travis Hunter, he's not the first overall pick in the NFL draft. I will say that right now. You could probably get him at 4, if you not 3. You trade that pick down. Give it to the New York Giants. Give it to the Raiders. Give it to somebody who needs a quarterback because it's probably going to be Shador Sanders going first. Cam Ward going second from Miami. So like looking at it, right? The Patriots have no need for that first overall pick when they already have their QB of the future. They need somebody who's going to elevate that team. The team's not bad. They have a terrible offensive line. I think they have terrible coaches. The players are decent. I think besides the offensive line and a little bit of the defensive line, right, that aren't bad. Those are the two like worst, the Achilles heels of the Patriots team right now. But if you take Travis Hunter, which they probably will, you trade down your first overall pick, you get, the fourth or fifth pick in the draft. I say you trade for a star wide receiver if you're the New England Patriots. If let's say or a star player, right? You're trading with the Raiders, take Max Crosby. If you're trading with the Giants, I would take Malik Neighbors, that the fourth or fifth pick, a few other first round picks, in the future and a few seconds from this year. I think that you can actually make it work out. I think if you're the Pages, maybe you throw something else in there besides the first pick if it's something like small. But again, like you don't need that first pick. Trade down, get Travis Hunter if you so desire to. Um, and so I think that's what the Patriots need to do when it comes to the NFL draft. You don't need that first pick. Trade it down, get some capital with it. You could utilize, picks for a receiver. You could go later in the second round, third round. You could go tackles. You could go defensive linemen, right? It's like so you could do so many things with this first overall pick. The Patriots just can't screw it up. And the Patriots haven't had good first round picks in the past. Drake May, I don't know. We said the same thing about Mac Jones in his rookie season. Oh my gosh, the second coming of Tom Brady is here. We're saved. We're gonna win so many Super Bowls. Then Jones hit that sophomore slump. And then the year after that, it was just a downhill trajectory with Mac Jones. And you hope that Drake May isn't like that. Again, with the sophomore slump, though, we've seen it for some players. CJ Stroud hasn't had a phenomenal season like he did in his rookie campaign. Ezekiel Elliott had a similar thing. Dak Prescott, as well. So again, you have to just see what he's going to do to be able to make that judgment if he's a quarterback of the future. But I say right now he is. But the Patriots, they need to do the right thing, trade that pick away. There's no reason to take Travis Hunter first overall. I think that's a joke. You could trade it down and you can get some capital with it to help improve your team. I also believe the coaching staff needs to go. Gerard Mayo, it was a good experiment. One season, no, he needs to go. Um, I don't think that he's a good coach. I think he lost the locker room early in the season. As when he made those comments about the team being soft, yep, he lost them right there, right? And so I don't think that he is the coach for the future. He's a player's coach. I don't think so either. Alex Van Pelt needs to go. The play calls aren't there. I think Ben Johnson is a good candidate from Detroit to come to New England. I know fans want Mike Vrabel. They were chanting Mike Vrabel. We want Mike Vrabel at the game on Saturday, this past Saturday. And so, like, the people aren't happy. And I know, like, Dietrich Wise said that, we're spoiled. We won 6 Super Bowls. We don't know what it's like to lose. We expected that this season, that we were going to suck as Patriots fans, right? There was that expectation and reality of we're like, okay, we're not gonna win. Did I think after beating the Bengals week 1, I was like, holy cow, like this team actually probably could be an underdog. Well, that didn't work out. They are the worst team in the NFL right now. So it's just like unrealistic expectations, but at the same time, it's just we knew we were going to be bad, but not this bad, right? Not first overall pick bad. Um, so again, like I understand from Dietrich Wise's standpoint that like yes, Patriots fans are spoiled. They won, we won 6 Super Bowls, had an amazing 20-year run of straight dominance. But, at the same time, it's just like yes, we're spoiled, but we also have some expectations as well. Like, listen, 5 games I would have been happy with, right? Right. And that's just, but like we've seen just some terrible football from the New England Patriots lately. Getting blown out by the Chargers at home isn't fun. It was fun almost beating the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. That was pretty cool. That was fun. But, you know, I think Mayo's coaching decisions aren't there. And I think that comes from Robert Kraft, to be honest. I think he's put the Patriots in the last 5, 6 years in a dumpster fire. And so again, as much as I love Robert Kraft as any other New England Patriots fan does, right now it's just like, what is he doing for the team to help us be successful? Elliot Wolf hasn't done anything as a general manager of the New England Patriots. Kraft hasn't done much either. He's made some questionable decisions. So again, it's just what are we doing? It's a top down, right? And so that's how I look at it, and that's who I'm going to blame. Of course, there's blame on the players. There's blame on everybody in that organization right now. But you can't get blown out by the Chargers at home. You just can't. And the New England Patriots, they're struggling. So, like I said, just have to trade away that first round draft pick, and you'll be a-okay. That's just my belief, right? Just because the Patriots, hopefully they don't screw it up because they can't. If they do, it won't be pretty from everybody. Um, but yeah, a lot of good sports going on lately. Uh, this time of year it's always good. You have all the bowl games happening. Like I said, UConn, they won the Fenway Bowl over UNC, which is a lot of fun. UConn slowly turning into a football school. Their first bowl win in a little while. So they've been on the come up. Jim Mora has an extension as well. Really like to see what he's been doing with the program at UConn. Um, beating UNC, who's an ACC school, pretty cool. With Bill Belichick now going there as a head coach at UNC, UConn has a home and home set up. I believe it's for the 2026 season that they will be in at UConn at the Rent that Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels will be playing UConn, which again will be really cool for New Englanders. I bet a lot of people will go to that game just to kind of see Bill Belichick coaching, against a New England team. But I think that people up here in New England are starting to care about college football a little bit because now UConn's pretty good, BC is mediocre. Um, but yeah, there's some good teams. Syracuse, they've been doing well. So there's some good college football teams up here in New England, or in the Northeast area, because I know like New York isn't part of um, New England, but I digress. And I just think that college football in up here in New England and in the Northeast has really been on the rise lately, and that's really good because with the Patriots losing so much, there has to be some football that we have to watch up here in New England. And hopefully it is UConn and stays UConn. But that's going to wrap things up here this week on Halfway with Hathaway. I'm George Hathaway. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. I hope everybody has a great, happy, healthy year. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys very soon.